Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is an episode 95. Good morning or good evening in whichever part of the world you are and you have arrived here today. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about fears. And we're going to dive into the fears that you might be holding on, and they are more common than you think that it's on this journey. I know when we first come to this journey and we are overwhelmed by all of the feelings, energies, synchronicities, so much is starting to happen, and then at one point a lot of fears will start to creep in. And in today's episode I would like to bring you an understanding that these fears are more common than you think, and also bring in the solutions, what to do with these fears and how to face your fears and how is it actually going to affect your journey while you are letting go of your fears. If you have any particular fears that constantly are coming up while you are on this journey, or you felt that some of these, what we are saying today here, are resonating with you and you feel that exactly that's what I'm going through, make sure to leave a comment below, or like, or even subscribe as that will help again to reach to the people who need to hear that and need to get some comfort. And just wanted to tell you that I'm very happy that you are here, despite the fact that you are facing your fears and you're going through a very hard time. Some of the things that often people don't talk about it, or I don't see this so often, now it's becoming more and more, is the fact that when the spiritual awakening happens, it is going to wreck you apart. And that's what Twin Flame Journey is about as well. It's about to wreck your ego apart, make you feel like nothing, and at the same time to make you to become who you are. And so let's dive into the first fear, and a very, very common fear, and that's the fear about union. And I start with this for the fact that of the 3D union. In my next episode I'll talk about the 3D, 4D and 5D union, and in detail how it feels like, what it is, and why 5D union is somehow more ultimate than 3D. But today we are focusing on the fears. So fear about union. And now we begin with the fact of 3D union. When we are about to meet our twin flame again, let's say you are going to have a chance to see them somehow. You somehow, let's say, you know where they work, or you know where they live, or you know which event they will attend to, or you know something that there is a chance you're going to run into each other. And now let's say it's been quite some time that you haven't seen each other, maybe even since the separation, and you haven't even spoken to one another, or if you have, very little. And you know in your mind that most probably you have a chance to see them. And now here is the fear of 3D union that starts to come up, is that, am I going to really feel again what I felt when we first met? Maybe I don't feel anything. So your mind starts racing around of thinking, what are you going to feel? And then it goes now both ways. What if you're going to see each other and you actually feel nothing? And you feel that, no, it's not my person. I don't have any feelings towards it. Or the other way, that you feel everything again and you don't know how to handle this and you don't know how to stay. And then comes the fear of rejection along the lines that you feel maybe my twin doesn't feel any of this. Let's say your twin knows how to act cool and act all like, yeah, everything is all right, I don't have feelings for you, or trying to hold it very well together. And this is one of the most common fears before in a union, in meeting in 3D. Now I'm going to say to you that if you are afraid of this, that how you are going to feel when you're going to meet, and how your twin is going to react when you're going to meet, and where and how, and you're trying to figure it out with your mind. As we know, we actually cannot figure this out with a mind. It's very unlikely that you're going to meet. There can be some odd chances here and there, but they will be very brief and very quick. As when we are generating the energy of fear, we are generating out of our body the energy of distance. Stay distance from me. Like we are not connecting that, yeah, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to be in this, I'm ready to connect with you. We are sending out no, 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 because I'm afraid and I don't know what is going to happen. You can see this, for example, many of you, maybe some of you are teachers in a classroom, or you have been speaking in front of the people, or you've been in the audience. And even if you haven't, from here on, try to take this with you. When a person doesn't know what to do, and you can feel that. You can just literally, as I'm sure if any of you are the class teachers over here, or leave the comment for others to see this. But for you, take this with you. You can be in an audience and you can see how some of them, let's say they don't know, they are afraid how this is going to be the outcome. Let's say you ask them to read a book, they didn't read a book, or maybe they read the book, but now they're afraid of what kind of answer is going to come, and maybe they don't know the answer. So you're starting to generate with your own body the energy of, no, 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 I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. And now if this is going to happen, and your spirit guides sense that you are not ready, most likely you're not going to meet. And when your heart, let's say, racing really fast or things like this, let's say you are super nervous about that meeting, and your spirit guides love you, and all of them, they will make sure that you're not going to run into each other. Because it's not the time for this. Because you're too nervous. You're not in a stable place of accepting this energy. Here is why I talk about why of becoming your higher self, and 5D union is more so-called powerful than 3D and seeing a person in 3D. It's because when you are already living this in 5D, in 3D you take this as normal. You don't have a fear. So if you're listening this today and you have that fear that, what if I'm going to meet my twin flame and I have no feelings? Or maybe there was nothing in between us. Or maybe that was just an illusion in my head and now I just feel nothing. Or on the other hand, you feel like I don't know how I'm going to react. Maybe I cannot handle that energy. You need to sit down with this fear and realize where that fear comes from, because this fear has a root inside of you. So whether it's the fact that you don't believe that love in that matter is possible, that brings us back to the heart chakra, opening your heart fully. Because when our heart is fully open, we do not think of it rejection or abandonment, or we don't think of getting hurt, or we don't think of how to protect. You are more in a place like, yeah, that's how it's going to feel. I'm here. I'm in a present moment. So opening a heart chakra. Very difficult one. That's why we are suffering on this journey a lot as well. Because our heart chakra is one of the hardest to open, which I spoke about. It. Sacral and heart chakra are one of the challenging ones in that sense that if we get these, let's say, these engines to move, rest of it will start moving into the place as well. But if heart that holds all the information and the gateway into the universe, gateway into the love, gateway into the life force, along with the sacral chakra, which is your sexual chakra, magic can start to happen. And I know many of here you can hear sometimes it says, oh, you don't need healing, you don't need this, you just need to, for example, just detach and magic will start to happen. Your body from this chakra system is generating energy. And your life and the reality is based on the energy you are generating. So if you are in a state of fear, and if you are afraid of love, if you're afraid of something can happen, if you're afraid of all of these things, you need to let go of these fears. Now, I just want to really tell you, letting go of the fears is not something like an overnight process, and it will take time. And it just, how do I say, I wanted that you emphasize for yourself that, no, I'm not perfect. I have my journey to go. But I'm here every day. I show up and I step by step unlock this heart or any other energies. I feel this maybe, and it's sometimes also from my side, it comes in a little bit like, oh, we need to do this work and this work and this work. But we also need to realize that if you've been holding this in your heart, let's say 20 years or 5 years or 15 years, it will take time to release it. But the first step to release anything is to become aware of it and to connect with that. So don't be hard on yourself on this journey. There's a new reason, and I jump a little bit from here, another thing, but the reason why I love energy activations so much, and I love why we're doing this and everything, is because when we are starting to remove the energy, when we connect with the energy that is somehow stored in our body, and we might not be aware of it, that we are not even aware that we had this inside of us, but our body remembers. I see that when also we release energetically trauma and all of that, your body remembers it and your body starts removing it. When you become aware of it, come to the next workshop. It's on Patreon, and that will be, it might be, let me just look at on the calendar, on the 15th of September. Come to the next workshop. This is a trauma release workshop, what we're gonna do. And you will see how you might have something in your body that you didn't even know, but it's there. And when we start releasing it step by step, you start having like a clarity is starting to come through you. I had in this week 3 or 4 sessions of energy activation. And I can see how a person is coming in and is completely like shaking, is confused, all of this. And we go through the energy activation and they come out and they're completely different. Their face is calm. They feel like they can breathe again. And this is, I don't want to take as a credit for myself, because I believe it's you who is healing yourself. But when just people say that, you know, you just saved my life. You just saved me from doing something very intense. And I don't want to take a credit of that. Not at all. I believe it's you. But just witnessing how energetically we can shift, and there's a moment you can breathe again. As when we have fears, when we have all of this within us, it's sometimes difficult to breathe. So that's why I would say, if you can, again, invest in energy work, go to breath work sessions, go to a healing sessions, sound healing, breath work. And I'm not saying this just because I tell you, oh yeah, now all of us have to do this. I just see the shift in there. I wish I had as I'm a photographer as well, I had a project, oh, that must have been 14 years ago or something like this. I had a project where I took pictures of people when they are very serious and when they're very happy. And then I put this into a fast video together. And then I was showing to the people and their reaction. And it was very interesting. When people were serious, everybody became very serious. They looked at very serious, like, what's happening? And when people are laughing and they had nice like smiles on their faces, the same happens on the other side who are looking at this. And sometimes I feel like I wish I could take a portrait of you when you come to this, and the portrait when you leave the energy activation. It's like two different people. And those of you who are coming on a retreat, I think we should do that. We should really do. I take a picture of you how you arrive to the retreat, and a picture of you when you leave the retreat. And later we can test on others to see which version is of you when you arrived and which version is of you when you left. That might be a good idea to do, actually. So here is just wandering around in that sense of realizing how much our bodies can hold and how our energy holds. And the more, of course, we can do the work, actually, this is something I also have a problem with. I have so many problems. Not with the work, but that it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit of you connecting with your higher self. So here's why, again, why I do every other week workshops on Patreon. Now we go back to every other week. Because it's like your time. You come, you settle in, and you have a time with yourself to connect. And then you are recharged again to continue on this journey, to keep going. But when we do not have a moment within ourselves and we don't release, it's just we get overwhelmed. And that's why it's very normal to have these fears. So the next fear, what is that it wasn't real, and it's all a delusion. It was an illusion, never happened, made it all up, and twin flames don't exist, and this energy doesn't exist, and what you felt is not real, and you just had an obsession over a person. And here it comes a lot down to your solar plexus. Solar plexus is the one that holds the principle of knowing and principle of believing in something, and your ego. I would always say that when we let go of the ego, of knowing what is right and what is wrong, I see this very clearly this way. If you were able to experience divine love, whether it's twin flame or not twin flame, or soulmate or karmic, or whichever label we wish to use, if you were able to experience something so divine, something that shifted you from your core, something that break you apart, something that showed you that you have never experienced in your life, then does it really matter if it's a reality or delusion or not real? I have a theory about reality which you can read about in my book, and I will share on the podcast as well a little bit, but the reality that is happening is inside of us. Each one of us is experiencing the reality in a very different way. And what Twin Flame Journey has taught me, and through channeling and everything what I have figured out, is that even though we can have the energy we feel in a similar way, we pursue this differently. And that brings me to the understanding that reality is not what we think the reality is. And so your reality can be my illusion. Or my reality can be someone else's illusion, and it's not real. So when we keep on thinking that it's not real and what you're experiencing right now, you're closing down some information that is trying to come through you. When it's coming from the place of love, acceptance, of feeling so divinely connected that you feel there is something that I cannot put my finger on. I'm feeling things I never felt before. I see things I never saw before. I can see the energies, I can see the auras, I can touch the things and they become so-called alive. Or I hear the birds, or I hear the trees. I can taste things, and I can also stop tasting things, in that sense that you can have completely like 180 degrees. And now comes again the in like, but who am I? There is a good meditation on Patreon where we do this meditation, I don't know. And when you do that, not often you start feeling in your solar plexus discomfort. Because your solar plexus pops out and says, I know I love myself. I know I love my mom. I know I love this. I would highly recommend you to jump over into the Patreon and try to do this and see what is happening to you. Because something inside of us thinks that we know who we are, and we have put this vision of us who we are. But is it? Is it who you really are? So that could be also delusion. That I see you very differently than you see, like you see yourself. We see this over and over again, where we have people in a room, for example, or you see me. Like I could take 10 people, and you can have some similarities with me, but many of you see differently who I am. Some would say, I don't like her at all. I don't understand her at all. And some would say, she's so amazing. She gives me energy. She gives me light. Others would say, let's say, I don't like how she looks, or I don't like how she smiles. And the other one would say, I love her smile. So you see, what is the reality then? We see things from the very different ways and from a very different perspective. So that's what brings me back to the twin flame journey, that if you have the fear that this was never real, you're never going to experience this as real. For example, let's say again, somebody tells you, I love you so much. And you are so afraid that maybe this person wants something from me. Maybe this person doesn't really love me because I haven't experienced such an intense love. And then you don't believe that this is real. When we don't believe what we are feeling and what is happening inside of us is real, then my question is, what is real? What you see outside of the world, that everybody sees their reality differently, that's real? Everybody's having a different reality. So the more you're going to trust what is real inside of you, again, come to the energy activation sessions, go to the holotropic breathworks. Those who have done ayahuascas and things like this, what is real? There is something out there. When we take away that ego that is trying to protect us so badly, and we step into this, it makes us to question what is real. I highly recommend on this journey to become friends with that fear that nothing is real and everything is real. Why? Because when you become one what you are experiencing and don't fight against this so-called reality, that you feel divine love, you feel divine connection. And I would just say also, write these things down. I'm not saying this that because I want you to spend time and write. I've had people who come to the workshops, and overall when we talk about it, they say, it's funny, I go back and I see that my mind remembers this completely differently, but since I wrote this down, I see this completely differently. And it gives you a bigger picture. And when you become one, that what you're experiencing is real, you're creating your reality. That's why when you jump back and forth of believing if twin flames are real, am I on this journey? Is this is real? Again, I give you a lot of, how do I say, compassion of jumping back and forth, because I did the same thing. I didn't believe on any of this twin flame journey, of this twin flame thing, nothing. I said, okay, it's another way of manipulating people. It's another, I don't know, cult maybe. I didn't have these words, but I just felt like, no, I know. Yes, but at the same time, when I go back on my journals, this is what I was constantly describing. And I even have written clearly in my words, I have met my twin flame. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, Creator, for giving me this. My life is so amazing, and thank you for this. I have no conscious awareness of that. If you would tell me this, that this is you who wrote this, I would be like, no, it wasn't. But since it's my journal and my handwriting, I cannot deny that. But my mind would say, no, how can I, where? But I do a lot of, how do I say, I highly recommend this exercise for you as well, to start writing out of nowhere. Just to write until something starts to come. And you don't judge this. And now, let's say, time goes on. I had another day an email that dropped to me. I will read this in the future when we talk about soulmates and twin flames and everything. But the email was sent to me about when I talk about it, that your journey can really change. That today you feel like the best person I want to be with is my twin flame, and I'm going to be with my twin flame, and I do everything with being with this person. And then this journey can shift into the fact that you can have a soulmate coming to your life, or something else is happening, or even a karmic. I don't like that word, as you know, because I believe that, because karmic, if we say that, it has a negative aspect, but actually karmic is somehow a gift to release that old pattern. Anyways, and when we write things down, we start noticing that we are saying certain things that our ego might not agree with, but it's coming from somewhere. And normally you need to write about at least like 25 minutes in a row or something, and do this every day and see what starts to happen. So do not question this as much. Become friends with this, whether it's right or wrong. And if, let's say, 10 years go by and you found it out that, oh my God, wasn't that person at all. I wasn't on this twin flame journey. Where did I even come up with that? I believe that you learned something so profound. You learned something so profound about yourself, and you changed and shifted, and it guided you into the place. I talk about the twin flame energy in a sense of energy. I feel that activation of through twin flame love, the life force energy, whether you have a twin flame or not, if you come across with that, and I see this around my people, they don't know anything about twin flames. They never heard of it even. But we use the same methods in a sense of activating, in a sense of coming to the love, and that I believe that twin flames have a very high frequency. That's why when you meet the twin flame, you recognize them, you feel them. You feel something so home, like after a long time. And that's why when you come to the retreat, you will feel these people, that they are your home, they are your family. And this is why we do the retreats longer, to get the time to be in this family. Those of you who are wondering about the retreats, and I keep on saying, one we have in Cyprus now in November, and the other one is in Costa Rica in February, end of February. All the links are in a description. Sign up as soon as possible. Costa Rica retreat is almost filled up, and there is an early bird price, which will shift after September. So I really highly recommend, if you feel like it's your time to come and ready to release the fears, allow yourself to become your higher self, connect with the union, see all of this, what I'm talking about it and experiencing it, come along. Or if you cannot afford and come and do the workshops time to time, just pop in, discover, see, If connected, if didn't connect, don't get stuck over and over and over again on the same energy. Become friends with this. And so coming back to this fact that when you become one for the twin flame, and why I don't blame you as much is that something ignited inside of you. And whether it's a twin flame or not twin flame, or you happen to have, let's say, a twin flame in your life, but later on you marry a soulmate, or it completely changes. I believe that if you had that awakening through this something, it's a blessing. And not to jump into the future of thinking, what if I'm crazy, and what if it's not real, and maybe I was the mad case who came up with all of this. I don't believe that you came up with all of that. What I believe is you felt something that started to burst through you and come out of you, and now you need to become one with that. It does not mean that you're going to, let's say, harass a person or say, oh, we are twin flames and we must be together because I am a twin flame and you are my twin flame, and that is a contract, we have to be together. It's not like that. Twin flame is your spiritual ascension and connection. It doesn't mean what I'm saying that you cannot be with your twin flame. Not at all. I see daily when somebody pops me an email, oh, I got engaged to my twin flame, or we are together and I feel this. But the journey continues from there on. And they always say it. Even I had another day, somebody asked, why don't you talk about when twin flames are in 3D union to give us advice? Because there's a lot we are going through as well. Yeah. It's a constant growth and work. And here's why I've said many times, and I know many of you don't want to hear this, and that's okay. But the relationship with a dear soulmate is easier than with a relationship with your twin flame. And whether you like to hear this or not, it's totally up to your ego. But why I'm saying is because your twin flame is your ultimate life coach. It's going to get you to the level of awareness, level of power, level of healing, level of gratitude, level of love, level of everything beyond something you've ever experienced before. So now the next fear, the third fear, would be that they don't feel the same. Again, very valid fear to have. And here I would really quickly, and I had the same fear. I had the exact same fear. What if I made that up, that I felt so strongly about the person who has no interest in me, no love towards me, no connection with me, and I just imagine all of that. Now I would say that there can be a one-side love. There can be that you fall in love with someone and the other person doesn't feel any of that. But the information that I have collected with twin flames who have come to my journey, especially men and women, both in their other part of their life, when they are a little bit older, in that sense, like 60, 70, even had a lady who was 80. And they all come and say that it never disappeared. He loved me the whole time. We had all of that connection. Even though he or she or we were married to a different person, and I had also a good partner in my life. But after 40 years, when we met again, it felt like we are back in the exact same spot. So now we go to that fear. Let's talk to that fear. Why there is a fear that they don't feel about this? And that comes down again to love and the heart chakra, and also the ego. So both the solar and the heart chakra at the same time. When we don't believe that someone can love us, we need to ask why. Why this person will not love me? So now it's the two ways. Are they afraid of love? Or am I afraid of love? Am I afraid of something within me? Do I try to be someone different? I'm afraid of speaking my truth, being authentic self of me. I spoke about this on the last podcast a little bit, of saying the highest frequency is your authenticity. When you step into being your authentic self, and it's not about right and wrong, it's about you being you, you start attracting magic. That's why we can see that, for example, some people are extremely successful, I don't know, racing cars. And the other person would say, you would study the exact methods, would do exact thing, and it will never happen. Because it's not their frequency. It's not there who it's supposed to be. You can't, let's say, make an elephant to jump over the fence while the horse can. You know, it's different. It's you of becoming who you are in your authentic self. And that comes down to the fact of what part of you don't love yourself, that you think your twin doesn't. And it's a big battle, because sometimes we see they do not talk to us, they don't show us any emotions, there is nothing. And why they don't love me? Maybe I made all of that up. Maybe it's only me. I believe if you are your authentic self, everybody loves you. Everybody. If I go to a concert, for example, or I go and watch the show or something, let's say a ballet, and I see the ballerina is lost in a dance. She is the dance. And I get lost with her, and I start loving her, like that essence, that authenticity. And meanwhile, I can see that someone comes and tries so hard to be, and she has all the right steps and she has all the right things, but she's not a dance. So when we become fully who we are, and that's what the twin flame journey is gonna push you into, of loving as you are, every single step of you. And there is no need to justify or say I'm right, I'm wrong. It's you in your pure essence. And you're loving this. And it's not a popularity contest, it's not about anything else. It's you in the best way possible. If the God has given you a louder voice, or if the God has given you the body to dance, or if the God has given you to write, or if the God has given you to create or heal or hold space, then be there. And sometimes that's all you need to do. So connect more with your authenticity. And even if it's mad case, like you would talk about it that, I don't even know what is mad nowadays, but let's say you say that you live together with aliens. Then live together with aliens. Live, be. If that's what your authentic self is living and being, who am I to question? Who am I to say this is right and this is wrong and this is real? We see over and over time in history that how many things we've been told are not real. And for example, media, what we're hearing, what we're seeing is not real. Reality is a big question, and that's why for you to become one with this and letting go of these fears, you start attracting everything in your life. And I'm talking this from my own personal experience. It is about letting go of the fears, becoming you, and love. Then another thing is what we often have, that we are afraid of, that we are losing the time. So now I just want to talk about the time a little bit. Yes, time goes on. We know that we are getting older. I am no longer 15 years old, or I'm no longer a 5-year-old. The time always somehow moves towards something. And one day we are going to go away. And I know for people who are, let's say, are older, they're realizing, but my time is almost out. My time is running out. I don't have a time to waste here, to wait and play the games. And that's why I say from the very beginning, stop playing the games and become your authentic version of you. Blocking, unblocking, not talking, not taking things personally, not doing the inner work will not get you anywhere. The more you understand that all you have is in this moment, yeah, it's there's nothing in the past and there's nothing in the future. It's here right now. When you are listening to this podcast, you're here. Whether you're walking in the forest, whether you are home alone, whether you are driving in a car, hi for everyone who is doing that, so, or whether it's your morning coffee and you're listening to my voice, it's here. You're right now, right here. You're not somewhere else. And it might feel like I have no time. But now, come here to this present moment and feel everything if your twin is here. How you are in a relationship, how you are together, how you talk to each other or whichever. Just feel it. And why I talk about this is when you keep on worrying about the time is running out, you're not going to stop the time, and you waste so much of your energy in worrying instead of becoming. You know, sometimes we have a very busy day. We have a day where you know that, I always say when I know that I have a busy day, I say I'm going to have a fight with the time because I'm running from one appointment to another. Then I have this thing to do, then I have this thing to do, and I see how the time is running and I'm running with time. But again, this journey and awareness have taught me that everything happens when I am the time. Which means I don't worry about it that I will be late there. What I am is I'm going to be present here right now. And I see what I can do in order, let's say I'm going to be late, I'm going to inform a person, I'm going to say and set the time that this is how it's going to be. And I'm not a victim of the time, I am the time. It requires a lot of awareness. Sometimes time is, you can feel it's ticking, or at the same time it slows down. Let's say if something bad happens. Let's say you are in an accident. I don't want to say that actually. Let's say you're waiting for something. Many of you have been waiting for the twin flame message. You're waiting them to type. And maybe you see they're typing on WhatsApp or on social media or wherever way you're communicating. And you see they're typing, but it feels like eternity. What they're going to say now. So you see, the time is not that it's going to run out if you become one with the time. I would say it requires time to learn this. And meditation helps a lot on this. And not to worry about helps a lot. And when you become more and more one with this, the more likely you are going to become, the best version is going to come out of it. We'll do a very interesting exercise while you're coming to the retreat. There's something that we're going to do, and then you can always put your input about it. If I remember, then I will share about this and after the retreat. So where are the others? Doing all of this inner work, and that they will never return. That you do all of that work. You come to these workshops, you come to these retreats, you do all of that work, you do healing, sound healing, Reiki, all of this, they will never return back to you. Okay, here is I'm about to say something. If you do all of this work, magic will start to happen in your life. And you'll be forever thankful that this person, whether it was twin flame or not, ignited you to become this higher version and best version of you. Because what starts to happen in your life is so incredible. You're starting to attract the magic in your life, your dream job, your dream friends, your way of putting your creation into this world. You become one with the God, one with the universe. And that's why I always say, when you become your higher self, having your twin coming back to your life is like a cherry on top of a cake. But it's no longer a goal that if I don't have the cherry on top of a cake, I'm unhappy. You are going to love your life and thrive in it. Will there be challenges? Of course. Challenges are always there. Will there be a thunderstorm, rain, earthquakes? Of course there will be inside of you. But you are one with you, and this is so priceless. And that's what your twin flame is doing in your life. And now if they do not return back to your life, they are not on the same frequency. And that's okay too. Because you're going to meet someone who's going to match your frequency and is going to uplift you to the next level. But if you are in the state of lack, it's very, very difficult to attract. You need to become the magnet. And that's why I am, like sometimes when I hear when somebody writes me back that this happened to their life and this happened to their life and all of the work what they have done, I'm like, wow. Seeing you thriving in this world, creating love, leaving the creation behind, is so amazing. And it's you who can do that. And there is nothing more beautiful than this. Whatever you do, whether you are a nurse, whether you are a teacher, whether you are becoming a healer, whether you are writing a book, but you leave something behind. Something that can ignite somebody else along the way. Think of all the books you have read. These writers wrote this years and years and years ago. And now they're igniting you. Isn't that amazing? How something can stay alive while it's not alive? Leave. And even if you are, let's say, exactly a teacher or nurse, I have teachers, I still look back and I'm like thankful for them. So whichever job you're doing, whatever you are there, leave the light and legacy behind. And why? And then it's about how much your life will change. The fear around how much your life can change. I wish I could tell you otherwise, that your life will not change, but your life will change. From that moment on, you're never the same person ever again, and you don't really have a choice here. You don't really have a choice to say, I want my old life back. You know that you can't go back. You know that. You just simply know that. Even though you can try to be in your old life, you just simply know that nothing is the same as it was. And so your life is going to change. But everything is in a constant change. Everything. If we don't adapt to the change, we will not survive. And I also believe that God and the universe knows what you can handle and will give you how much you can handle. And when you connect with this energy, you can do anything. I guarantee you can do anything. And I heard another day where it was, and this was a bit of a religion, but it really sparked me, where the message was that, dear God, I have lived my life in my way and never your way. Let me now step into the service and do things in your way. And what I mean under this is become one what you're experiencing it. If you're experiencing pain, become one with this pain. Because when you are one with this pain, you are able to release it. When you're going to throw away that, oh, no, let me put this in a corner. I don't want to feel this today. I don't want to do this with the day. Or when you're going to face the fear that, oh, maybe it's not real and maybe somebody's going to know that it's not real. Well, then you are not allowing it to happen. You're never allowing yourself to come to the union. You're not allowing it because you are constantly thinking what others people would think of me. It's not real. And I'm not saying that you need to go out there and shout, I'm a twin flame, I'm a twin flame. If I'm with my twin flame, then I'm going to be with my twin flame. Please, 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 please don't do that. What I'm saying is, if your experience is real, it is real. And now become one with this and watch the magic to happen. And I wanted to say another thing over here before we're going to end up today. There are more fears, so of course there's going to be more episodes around the fear. But I wanted to say, don't be hard on yourself. You have to become your best friend and allow yourself to feel everything. Because you're having this human experience. And allow yourself to love. Allow yourself to miss this person. Allow yourself to become one with this person. Allow yourself to connect through your heart. Whatever is in that heart. Love, pain, excitement, sadness, disappointment. Whatever is in that heart. Allow it to feel. As that's what makes you a human, and that's what makes you beautiful. Your vulnerability is beautiful. Sometimes your anger is beautiful. Sometimes your sadness is beautiful. Sometimes your smile is beautiful. And sometimes the way you are is just so beautiful that it's worth of noticing it. If you are in pain and you feel that the life is against you, take a moment to pause and go through your fears. Every single one of them, and not to judge them. And then say, good, we are here now. And now we're going to start becoming one with the fear and letting go of the fear. I also want to say that when people would ask why I talk about this becoming a higher self and feeling it, I don't know how many of you have heard about that from the manifestation and everything. And with sportsmen and everything, before they're going to win, they're going to feel how it is to win. You're going to become really one with that. And the way we're going to become really, really one with this is through meditations, sitting with this, feeling it, setting the intention, becoming there. We are in this present moment. You win right now. Your twin is here right now. You're together right now. You kiss each other, you hug each other, you are here and right now. And when you get lost there, watch what your body is going to do, what your energy is going to do. Again, I would say come to the energy activations. On Patreon, they are part of the Patreon subscription, which is only $5.99, and I think VAT has to be on top of that or something like this. Just come and do this for, I would say, normally we need around 8 times, but just come and do these things and see what starts to happen. Those of you who are following on Instagram, I sometimes share about these emails, how people say, after 8 months I haven't heard anything. And now it said to me everything. And I'm not making these stories up, and I also try to keep these stories away. And I will be asking me like, why are you keeping your union stories away? Because it is already, you have the union. You already have it when you become one with that. And for me to so-called, let's say, market and say, yes, I know you do 8 times this and you're going to be in union. No, you're going to gain so much more. You're going to gain so much more. And I can see this daily. Just within such a short period of time, how some people are thriving in their life, and whether they are with their twin or without their twin. And some people are suffering and going through a very hard time. But that's why we are here. I went through hell. I went through every single bit of hell, which sometimes when I close my eyes, I ask, how on earth am I alive? How? I know that if you're listening to me, it might feel like, oh, like my pain, nobody understands. I do. And sometimes even if I have calls with you, sometimes I cry a little bit because I know that pain. I know that pain, what you're going through. I know how much you can miss a person. I know how much you can feel lost, that you don't know what comes next. How you can feel that you're losing everything and nothing makes sense anymore. But I also know why is it happening. And you discovering your pain and becoming one with your pain is beautiful. And releasing it. I really say energy activations. Again, like I said, you can come to the retreats, you can book the calls, you can do all of that. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not saying, oh, you have to. I just see the difference from there on. And then another day, this weekend was quite rough. There was quite a lot of activations and quite a lot of emotions. And these people came back and they told me like, oh my God, I feel so light. I feel I can breathe again. I'm alive again. What did you do? And then every time I go in my room where I meditate and pray and connect, and I just say thank to the universe. I thank you so much for the universe of giving me this power to show you how amazing you are and how you can breathe again. And that's a divine gift from divine. And I'm very, very thankful for this. So just to say that fears are there and they are very normal. And if you felt any of these fears are something you are dealing with, then let's become one with that and let's release them. Okay, we'll have definitely a second episode about this as well, but today we're gonna cut it off from here. And if you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, come back here, share your experience, and I see you very soon here. I'll just go through again a few things just as an announcement for those who don't know. Like I said, on 15th of September, we'll have another workshop on Patreon. And you can also purchase the tickets on the link in the description if you are not on a Patreon member. And you can come and join us. We will do a trauma release exercise with activation of the energy. And then we will have the retreats. You can sign up for the Cyprus retreat in November. All the links are in bio, and it will happen on 8th of November till 12th of November. We'll do all of these exercises in live, but in a scale of consistency, which means every day we have quite a lot of activations, breath work, Reiki. We aim to uplift your energy and your energetic body. And the same thing is for a once in a lifetime opportunity in Costa Rica. I can't believe we are doing it in Costa Rica. I'm so thankful that so many of you signed up so quickly. I might be mistaken here, as I haven't got the time, but we have already 8 or 11 people signed up. I know that the last time I saw 8, but I know that there were a couple of other emails that kicked in. So I just say 8 or 11. I don't know, I can't remember, and I don't go through it right now for this, which means it fills up very quickly. Fill up the form that has been sent to you. You have an early bird price and install payments, which makes it affordable, that you don't have to put it out the full price immediately. And I see you in Costa Rica, here in Cyprus, and of course in a podcast as usual. Next podcast is coming out soon again, and if you wish to have a book, the call with me, to release, to connect, to realize, am I on this journey, how to deal with this journey, what is happening to me, come and we'll figure out all of this. And I want to say huge thank you, because your knowledge, your story has been extremely inspirational. Lots of love and lots of light, and I see you very soon.
'Cause yesterday I lost control and said some things I felt that you should know. I need a day to clear my mind and leave it all behind. It's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight. Tomorrow I let my worries fade, let them sweep away. There'll be another day tomorrow. I keep repeating the same mistakes. I did them all before, in every shape. There's a million ways to mess things up, and I need some time to figure out what to say and make our troubles disappear. Oh, tomorrow's near. It's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight. Tomorrow, let all our worries fade, let them sweep away. There'll be another day tomorrow. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Tomorrow I will set things straight. Tomorrow's gonna be okay. Let all my troubles go away. Tomorrow it's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight. Tomorrow, let all our worries fade, let them sweep away. There'll be another day tomorrow. It's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight.